This day 470 of Zohar, Pshat, fasting Zohar today. Nun Vav Amud Aleph, there's an asterisk. Rebelezer Omer B'Yomi De Enosh, which is 3, 6, 9, 12, about 14 lines at the bottom. Lezer Omer B'Yomi De Enosh, days of Enosh, Shabu Chakimim B'nei Nosha, B'chachma De Chorshin, U'Chusmin. They know they were adept at the wisdom of magic and sorcery. B'chachmasa. Chachmasa perhaps means actual secular wisdom, but I don't think so, based on the context. They're able to oppose the strength of heaven. HaKadosh Baruch Hu put these koichos into the Bria. It's an amazing concept. According to the Zohar, from the beginning of creation, there are koichos, as what the Gemara calls machishim pamaya shamala, which can contradict the heavenly family, in other words, the malachim above, and all the koichos that's kedusha, and prevent them from punishing the wrongdoers and bringing the retribution to the wicked and allowing people to flourish in their wickedness. That's what it says here. It's Pella. Amazing, right? The Zohar says it. The lava barnash b'yomer the nafak adam begins to the Aden. There was no person who from the time that Adam left Gan Eden, and he took with him the chachma, the tarfe ilona of the leaves of the tree. Leaves of the tree evidently means, as the Derech says, aleya ilon veim kochos achitonius. Adam was given this wisdom, but of course he wouldn't use it. But it was evidently given to Adam, so it was lying dormant, the generation of Enosh, and but it was there, it was known that it was there. And I don't know if it's in the Sefer of Adam Rishon or some other repository of knowledge, but it was there. And then the Shtadaba, there was nobody who was mishtadel in it. It seems like there's a something missing there that should say they weren't mishtadel with it. I hate to say, but even the nafkimine were not involved with it. Ad asa enosh shvikola. Until enosh came, they forsook it. They didn't actually get involved with it. I mean, the cross references here in this new Tzutz Zohar, but I don't see that they necessarily address this directly. But whatever, the Pshat is like I said, as the Sulam says, that they Adam left Gan Eden, took with the Chachma of the Aleiteno, which is the Kishafim. There was nobody who was involved with it. Because Adam and Ishton, those who were born for him, before Enosh came along, they forsook this Chachma and were not involved with it. Akad Asa Enosh, when Enosh came, Chamalon, he saw them, Chamachach Mosan Mishanyon. So he saw them, meaning, it says, the Aleitena, this Kshafim. And he saw this Chachma which they have, which is Machish Pamaya Shamala, which can contradict the Ratzon Hashem. V'chamachach Mosim Mishanyon Eloin can change that which is high, that gives him a shatin, I guess, deviate from Eloin. V'shtadamon. So it's interesting because we normally understand that most of the people in mentioned in the Torah were good people, right? The people specifically mentioned by name, right? And Enosh is mentioned by name. But I would assume that the door of Enosh was bad. But here it sounds like Enosh himself was bad. And they toiled in this wisdom. And they did stuff. Which kind of sorcery? And they learn for it. To the Chachma reach its heights of being widespread in generation of the Mabul. And they're all doing these work lavosha, to do bad things, to be to do embarrassing things, degrading things. V'amistakvei legabi Noach, and they would attack Noach, being a chachmas with these chachmas. V'amei deloyachil dina da'alma da'ashra alayu. He said, no judgment in the world of the world can devolve upon us. I have the chachmas because we have this wisdom to push off all those forces of judgment which will be brought against us. Me enosh from the time of enosh shariu kulu lishtadlulu b'yon chachmasa. From the time of enosh, they everybody was involved in this chachma, this bad chachma. The other it says ozu chali kro b'shem Hashem. Then it became like chulin, became violated, became desecrated, became like penetrated to call the name of Hashem. Rabbi Yitzchak Amar Koinu Zakoin Davu B'Sabulu B'Sarba Udara. Everybody, all the tzaddikim who came afterwards, after generation, Kulam Mishtalim Mechabu. They all tried to protest the usage of this warped wisdom. Begin the loyally centralized, so they shouldn't be punished for them. Kamo Yaron Musashav Chanoch. They mentioned tzaddikim. They couldn't. Adispashtu Chayovin Marde B'Moreon. And until the real Shem expanded and rebelled against their maker. Finally said, Masha Kaiki Davdenu, what is God that we should serve him? And it's really a question. Would they say such a stupid thing? What do you mean, why is God we should worship him? Of course we should worship God. And begin to no, because they had an alternative. They knew this chachmas. And they had all the people involved in charge of the world who were in charge of them. I guess they had the negative forces, which they took to be to be their leaders, whether they're bad people or bad spiritual forces. They trusted them. Until Kosh Baruch Hu restored the world like it was, as it wasn't before. To have a mind was water and water. In other words, so the Mabul came. Okay, so we'll have to come back to that tomorrow because that comes already on the next page, and the Zohar goes on and discusses it further. But in any event, here we see that this is HaKadosh Baruch Hu put this koyach into the Bria, and they almost got away with it, so to speak, the Dor Mabul. But ultimately, we know Dor Mabul didn't get away with it. Dor Floga almost did get away with it. We'll see the difference between them. But in the meantime, we'll leave it here for today.